So, students, this is the poem, the ball poem. Actually, this is in the syllabus of 10. In 10, this is a very beautiful poem, and actually, I want to tell you in this poem what is this is the poem based on our basic ideas. Means this is also called the main symbolical poem, and here it signifies our life. Actually, in our life also, we lost so many things, and that is true. That is the nature. Means, if we are born in this world, definitely we will die one day. That is the main message of this poem. And in this poem, what is poet is standing and one boy is playing with the ball, and the ball went just on the side of water, or you can say river is there, and the ball went inside that. And now what happened, the boy engulfed himself in sorrow. He was sad. Why? Because he just lost his ball. So here poet wants to tell that it is not difficult to buy another ball. You can buy it. Just you pay the money and you buy. But what is here, that actually this is related to our life also. Whatever we are having, the things associated with us, the things related to us, maybe they are the small things or maybe they are the larger significance, like a living person surrounded us. Means we also have our so many near and dear one. If you talk about your family, you have your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, your friends. So many persons are here to whom your memories are attached. They are associated with you. Means the persons, they are very close to you and you are connected to them. It means sometimes you have to show your possessions on these persons. So, what is the poet just wanted to tell, if you go in larger significance, that all these persons belonging to you, associated to you, means to whom you have attached your feelings, your emotions, and when anybody from these are separated from, means here if we talk about, if they die, what happens? It is not so easy to bear this loss. In the same way, here the poet is saying the ball that signifies for all these persons. Here I just gave the example of human beings who are close connected to us, who are just our relatives, our dear ones, our family members. If you take it a smaller significance, like the things, the materialistic things, or the small things on which you have your ownership. For example, if I tell that you students, when you are sitting inside the class, you all have pen, your book, your notebook, whatever, so many things you have. And if I say you just exchange your pen, so it is not easy to give your pen to anyone and to take the other's pen. Why? Because here, although it is very small thing, not so much important, but if you are a human being, so your memories are associated with that air. It is attached to you. So it is not very easy to go beyond, to make yourself separated by that thing. So here the poet through that ball want to tell that it is not easy for the boy to bear that separation. That is the thing. Means if you read this poem, divide this poem into two parts. In one part, the poet wants to say regarding the ball, means whatever the things we are surrounded, our memories, our feelings are attached. So in this way, if the same thing or the living thing and whatever it may be, if they are separated from you, so it is very difficult to bear this separation. Why? The only thing here poets want to tell, because your memories, your feelings are attached. So these things actually, memories, feelings and whatever, they signify a good human being. If you are devoid of these feelings, so you cannot be considered as a human being, because the compassion, the truthfulness, these are the things that signify or related to a good human being. So here when we read this poem further, so first the poet wants to tell that the ball that just the boy has lost, and now he was engulfed himself in sadness or not in good mood, because he couldn't bear the separation of that ball. But later the poet wants to tell what, that we all are aware about this. This is the truth. Whatever the things surrounded us, they all are mortal. They are not immortal. They are all mortal. It means one day the decline, the decay is inevitable. Means if you born, you will die. Whatever the things they are in this world, one day they will be separated. Means there is only particular life of that particular thing. After that time, it will go. It will destroy. Means we should know this truth. Means if you relate this is a very good example from our holy scripture book, that is the Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita also, our God Sri Krishna says that if you born, you will die. Death is compulsory. Means whatever the things in this world, one day all the things will decay. All the things will go away. They are not the permanent. And this is a truth. And we must know, we must bear this. So here at last the poet wants to say that this is the truth that we must know. We should make ourselves comfortable with this reality. But actually what is happening? In spite of knowing this truth, we couldn't manage ourselves to cope up with this reality. That is, this is the main, you can say, the message or the sandhi or theme of this poem. Let's start this poem. What is the poem about? You just listen. I am reading the line and I will explain it also, and I will tell you the figure of speeches one by one. So here you see the poet means the poem start with the sentence that is, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? Means the poem begins. What is there? The boy is standing. The boy is standing there, and the ball has lost. Means the boy who had just lost his ball. What is the condition of that boy now? Means after losing that ball, what is the condition of the boy? What is he to do? I saw it go. What is saying? I was also there, and I was seeing all these incident. I was standing there and watching whatever the activity going on there. So what is he to do? So I was thinking that now the boy has lost his ball. What he will do then? I saw it go. It means here it refers for ball. I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. Means I saw. What I saw? The bird is saying, I saw it. I saw the ball. I saw the ball go merrily. Merrily means happily. In this sentence, you see the figure of speech personification is used. Why the personification is used? Because here the poets want to make the ball like a human being, personified it. Why merrily? The word merrily and bouncing. These words are used, and merrily only people will get happy, not the non-living things. But here, what is ball is signifying that it is going merrily bouncing. So here personification is used as figure of speech. Down the street, and where it went down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water, and after that finally it reached inside the water. Means you can say near on that narrow street, and the street was going just the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. The poet is saying, no use to say. Actually, what is, suppose that we are playing cricket or whatever the games that we play with the ball. If we lost any ball, what happened? We just go on the market, on the shop, and buy another ball. It is not difficult. We can buy it. But poet here is saying, no use to say. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. Why? Because the boy who was standing there is not in the condition that he was so sad thinking upon that ball. So, no use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. Why? Because the ultimate shaking grief, the grief that shaken the boy, means you can say when you are shaken with the grief, it means you are engulfed in sorrow, in sadness, so much grief. And when you face this type of problem, this type of grief, even you could not move, even you could not think, because that time whatever your conscience just disappeared. You are like a dead man, means not knowing what to do. So the same condition was of the boy there. Means an ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stand rigid. And whatever the grief, what was the grief? That is the separation of that ball. So that's why an ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid. Rigid means not moving. Rigid. Stand rigidly, not moving, not knowing what is happening around him. So he stands rigid, trembling. And then the next word, that is trembling. Now you see, rigid means you are not moving, trembling means you are shaking. These two words are opposite to each other. That's why here the figure of speech oxymoron is used. So as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. Only he was staring down at that state on which direction the ball went. So all his young days into the harbor where his ball went, means he was only standing rigidly there, trembling with the fear due to loss of that ball, only watching down the street and recalling the things all his young days into the harbor. Harbor means the place where the sea just stay. like seaport, that is the place near the ocean or the river. Okay, so here that is harbor, means all his young days into the harbor where his ball went, because he spent all his young days, means all his childhood days there, playing with that ball. And so it signifies that memories associated with that place as well as with the ball itself. So all his young days into the harbor where his ball went, I would not intrude on him. So the poet is saying that the boy was standing there only staring down the street, the river or the water where the ball went, and I would not intrude on him. Intrude means when you are interrupting anyone without seeking permission. Means, or you can say in this way, intrude means when you enter any place and the person who are sitting there not able to know who is there, who is coming inside. It means this, but here what is the meaning of intrude? To disturb or to interrupt the boy. Means here I would not intrude on him a dime, another ball. And he says a dime, this is a like currency, means money. Only a dime means a dime means by paying just one dime you can buy the ball. So it is not difficult. It is not difficult to purchase the ball, but it is difficult for the boy to take another ball. Why? Because the boy that he had just lost, it was very valuable for him. As I told you, the things you are having in your life, they are very valuable for you. So the same way here, that's why he is saying no use to say, because the poet knows very well this time, and when anybody is engulfed in sorrow, so it is no use to say anything, because he understands. But why? What is the main thing that he is expressing grief? Because the memories. We cannot say, okay, don't cry over that ball, you can take another ball, because it is very difficult. So a dime, another ball is worthless, because for that ball you can buy another ball, but that ball, new ball, means whatever, if he will buy, that ball will be worthless for him. Worthless means not having any much value. Worthless. Now he senses first responsibility. The poet is saying, now the boy senses his first responsibility in a world of possessions. In a world of possessions means this is like a metaphor, and whatever means we are living in the world, and whatever the things on which we have our possessions, the things related to us, the things associated to us, or we show our ownership on those things. So this is the first responsibility. It means here, if you have in your family brother, sister, parents, grandparents, whatever the persons, friends, relatives, you show the possessions, and if you show the possessions, so you are also having the responsibility towards them. Means it is not just that they are going anywhere and they die, and whatever they are doing, they engulf in the sorrow and they engulf in the problems. You are not shaken. You are also affected. You also express care, gratitude. So this is the first responsibility. If we are living here in the world, and whatever the persons surrounded us on which we are having our possessions, the things they are related to us, so it means we have our possessions on those things, so it is our responsibility to take care of those things. That is only here the poet wants to say. Means
the sense, the first responsibility in a word of possessions. So the things those you are having, so the first responsibility to protect them and to have attached your feeling with those things, emotions, all other things, like whatever the main characteristics of a good human beings. So this is the first responsibility known by the boy. Here the poet wants to say, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball bat. Wow, what a great line. Means people will take balls. Here ball signifies, the ball is not here only ball. It is for the persons, living human beings, relatives, parents, son, daughter, grandparents, friends, all these persons associated with us. So here the poet is saying people will take balls. Balls will be lost always. And balls will be lost always. That is the reality. That is the truth. Means, suppose that you just purchased one mobile phone. That is the simple thing. Okay, that is non-living thing. You just purchased. So what is? This is not the truth that it will live longer or until you die. Only 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. That is much. And one day it will go. It will die or it will be lost. Or it will be no longer in working. So in this way we can say whatever the things we are having in our life, and they will be lost always. But here if you go on larger significance, our relatives, our mother, father, brother, sister, friends, they all here in this world. But one day in future they will be lost always. It means we will be separated from them. That is the truth. That is the reality. They are not permanent here. One day they will die. That is the real truth. So balls will be lost always. Little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Means the same person. Here ball back means the same thing. The same thing as it is. The memories, the feelings associated with that thing, nobody could buy. That is the truth. Means physically you can take another ball, but the thing that you are having love, you are having care for that thing, nobody can buy that again. That is the meaning of this sentence. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. But now, from here, the tone of the poem is changed. The poem is saying money is external. First half of the poem, the poets want to tell about our responsibility, our duty, means the things associated with us, we have to express gratitude towards them. Means because our memories are associated, so it is not very easy to be separated by these things, by these persons and whatever we are surrounded. But from here, the poet is saying money is external. Money is external. By money you can buy the physical things. Okay, materialistic thing you can just purchase. But here he is saying he is learning. Who is learning? The boy. The boy is learning. Well behind his desperate eyes. Means he is just innocent boy. The eyes, those eyes are desperate eyes. So he is learning well behind his desperate eyes. This the epistemology of loss. The epistemology means the knowledge. The knowledge of loss. Now he is learning. Now he is learning how to bear this grief. Now he is learning when you are separated from anyone. So, what are the griefs you have to bear? This is the experience that is being done by the boy. So, the epistemology of loss, when you lost anything, so how it is difficult to bear. So, the boy is learning this knowledge of loss, how to stand up. And in that situation, when you lost anything, how to stand up, how to make yourself courageous to face this type of problem, this type of challenge, this type of grief. It is very difficult, but here the poet is saying that the boy is learning. First time he just lost his boy. In upcoming life, surely he will lose so many things. So he is experiencing these things. So the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days, how to stand up. Very beautiful line here. Knowing what every man must one day know means now he started learning, he started experiencing the knowledge of loss and knowing what every man must one day know. Because this separation, everyone, every person, every human being will know if they are not knowing. If they do not know, one day they will know this. And most know many days, and most persons, they took many days to learn this. What? To be separated by these things, or the persons, or to lose our near and dear ones. So this is the things, means if anybody is not knowing, so this is very clear and the truth. That is the reality. Knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days, how to stand up. And even how to stand up, it means how to stand ourselves and how to face the challenges boldly, courageously. You are shaken with the grief when you just lost any of your close dear ones. Okay, so what is you? It is not very easy. How to stand up, how to face this challenge, how to face this situation. To know this, people take so much time, so many days, and gradually light returns to the street. A whistle blows, the ball is out of sight. And now means these things the poet was thinking. And then what happened? A whistle blows, the ball is out of sight. A small whistle blows, and the ball is now out of sight. You cannot see. It went. It just went away. Soon, part of me will explore the deep and dark floor of the harbor. I am everywhere, I suffer and move. My mind and my heart move with all that move me under the water, or whistling I am not a little boy. So the poet is saying, a whistle blows, the ball is out of sight. Soon part of me will explore the deep and dark floor of the harbor. I will go soon. Part of me will explore the deep and dark floor of the harbor, because in the water there is a deep water and dark floor of the harbor. I will try to explore the things, whatever we had lost. I am everywhere. I suffer and move. My mind and my heart move. And I am everywhere. It means here I am everywhere means that this thing happens in the world all time. I suffer and move. And this is the truth. I suffer. Suffer means I lost the things. Because as I already told you, they are not permanent. They will go one day. We will be separated. So I suffer and move and continue moving on. And continue moving on means in the concluding lines, the poet only want to say that whatever the condition, we have to be courageous to face these type of situations, because this is the truth. We have to bear this truth. So I suffer and move and continue to move on. I suffer and move, my mind and my heart move. Even my mind move, my heart move. With all that move me under the water or whistling, I am not a little boy. Because the little boy is expressing the grief. But I am not a little boy, the poet is saying. I am mature enough. I have experienced all these things. So I couldn't express much grief on these things. Means when people are experienced, they do not express much grief on these things. If they know the reality of life, that is. So here at the last, the poet wants to say, I am not a little boy. Because I am losing the things and again continuing and moving on. We cannot linger upon one thing. But the boy is an innocent boy. He is experiencing these things. So that is the poem here, the ball poem in this course. Okay. So figure of speeches, I want to tell you. You just see the figure of speeches. Means here, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? In this line, you can see here has his alliteration is there. In alliteration, what is the initial consonant sound is repeated again and again. So in this has and his, the sound of H is repeated. Then in this, the second sentence, what is it? Repetition is there. When one word is repeated again and again, that is called repetition. And I also told you, I saw it go merrily, the personification. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. As he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor. Where his ball went, I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Actually, mostly in all the lines, you can see alliteration is used. Stands, staring, and then his young days into the harbor. HH is repeated again and again. Alliteration is there. Then next, word of possession metaphor is there. So in this way, these figures of speeches are used here. Okay, and you can know it.